What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Crook, and today I'll be telling you guys about the first time I really got myself in some trouble. Well, the first time I actually got arrested. Before this, I got myself in some trouble. I got arrested when I was a little younger for assault with a deadly weapon and brandishing a knife. Somebody lied and said I did something that I didn't, and went to juvenile hall for a couple of weeks, and I ended up getting dropped. But this time is when I really got in some real trouble. So when I was younger, I used to ride around with a good friend of mine, Adrian. It would be me, him, his brother, and another dude that they knew from their neighborhood. And basically, we were young, didn't really have much to do, too much time on our hands, and what we were doing was very stupid, so I really would not recommend anybody doing it. But what we would do is we would ride around and we would look for people that was basically whoever's turn it was, the person had to be their same height. Like, let's say if it was my turn, I had to find somebody that was basically my same height, my same kind of similar weight, and to make sure that it was fair. And basically we would just go and take off on people and see if they would fight back, and maybe ask them for something. As soon as they pulled it out, we would snatch it from them and then just take off on them, and which means, you know, firing on them, punching on them. And we used to ride around and do that quite a bit. And one of the times we ended up jamming somebody up inside of a store. And this time, because we were in the store, we didn't fire on them. So one or two of us pushed this dude up against the wall in the aisle, and the other ones went inside of his pockets and took his wallet, which he didn't even have anything. But coincidentally, he ended up recognizing all of us from summer school, and all of us ended up getting questioned about it. And one of the four of us was not able to hold his water and ended up telling on the rest of us, and it got us in some, basically just got us kind of hot. And so, being that the detectives now knew who all of us were, he started questioning us about some other things that went on in the area that were quite similar. And what had happened is, on one of these days, my friend Adrian and his brother weren't available, and me and the other dude ended up getting kind of cool, and we would ride around a little bit. So him and I went out one day, and I actually we were riding around looking for something to do or somebody to take off on, and we couldn't find anybody. So I told him to take me to my girl's house. So on the way to my girl's house, school had just got out, the high school right around the way. And so we ended up seeing somebody on one of the side streets, and he was a decent size. And so, sure enough, we pull over. It was his turn to do it. So he goes up, says something to the dude, and ends up firing on him. And this dude that I was riding with was, I guess, a boxer or had boxing experience. So he had a pretty good punch. So he hits this dude, and I guess he split the inside of his mouth up pretty good. And when the dude fell, you know, the guy I was with just jetted back to the car real quick. And you know, when you're younger, it's kind of a thing when you win a fight or you knock somebody out or something. I guess, you know, it's kind of regular to just go through their pockets. If you knock somebody out, kind of take what they got. So that's what occurred. You know, he had hit dude had fell and was pretty much out of it. And I didn't necessarily run in his pockets, but I told him to run his pockets. And he emptied out both of his pockets. He had like $120. I ran back to the car. I told dude that he only had like $40. I gave him 20. I kept the rest because there was this these these all-white Fat Farm shoes that I had wanted hella bad. And so, hold on, I'm hella thirsty. So there was these Fat Farm shoes that I wanted. So I lied and told him that there was less money than it was. So anyways, that's something that me and him had did separate from all four of us jamming dude up in the store. So when we get, basically the detectives get on us for what had happened inside of the store, and they start asking questions about these other situations that had went on. And the one with dude getting punched out by the high school came up. And of course, dude had said, yeah, that was us, and said what had happened. And I did not know that when you take something from somebody, I guess that's considered strong arm robbery. So being that the dude got punched out and his money got took, at 16 years old, I ended up getting hit with a strong arm robbery. So I didn't have any other charges before that, that being my first real charge, because like I said, the assault with the deadly weapon had got dropped, and so that wasn't on my record. So so I did go to juvenile hall for a little bit, but then I was able to get released on ankle monitor, and I had to stay at mom's house on ankle monitor for maybe 2 or 3 months. And then after that, after ankle monitor, ended up going out to the boys ranch. My boy Adrian, who was one of my best friends when I was younger, he got jammed up for the situation that happened inside of the store. So he got the same charge that I did, but he had previous charges before that, and so he wasn't able to go. He wasn't able to get out on ankle monitor. He had to wait in juvenile hall the whole time until he got transferred out to the boys ranch. So being that he was in juvenile hall and I was not in juvenile hall, he thought that I was also telling on him. Somehow him and his brother had already known that the other dude had told, and because I wasn't in jail, they assumed I was telling as well. So at one point in time, my best friend and I were at odds, because he was thinking that I gave him up to get myself out of it. But once I showed up at the boys ranch and he seen that I had the same charge that he did, it was just a separate case, then we were back cool. And the reason why I didn't get hit with a robbery charge for what happened inside of the store was because they had it on camera who went inside of his pockets. So I think I was one of the ones that pushed him up against the wall, but I didn't actually go inside of his pockets. And so because I didn't go in his pockets, and I didn't get hit with that charge. But like I said, the dude that told on all of us, he come to find out, because we were younger, so our parents would talk and stuff. So our parents talking, we come to find out that him and his mom actually went down to the police station, and he ended up pointing everybody out on camera at the target. He ended up saying, oh yeah, that's him, because the most messed up detail that I heard was that he had pointed out my boy's brother and was like, yeah, I know that's him because he's had that same sweater since like middle school, and he had that same hole in it. So what it was is me and my boy Adrian, we were more around the same age, and then his brother and this other dude were a couple years older than us, and they were more around the same age. So yeah, I thought it was just normal to beat somebody up and take what was in their pockets, and come to find out that's actually a strong arm robbery. And because of that, as an adult, I can't even own a firearm from something that happened when I was 16 years old. They said that that's one of the very few unexpungible charges. And as an adult right now, I cannot own a firearm from something that happened over 15, 20 years ago. So I think that's pretty messed up. That's something to think about, What you do as a kid, you might think that everything is all fun and games because you're a minor. But there's some things that can follow you all the way into your adulthood. Some things that can really change how your future turns out. I didn't think beating somebody up at 16 would make it to where I couldn't own a firearm to protect my home and protect my family as an adult. That's kind of crazy. And they say it's an unexpungible charge, which I think is crazy as well. But yep, that's my story for the day. That's the first time I got in trouble, and I got hit with the robbery charge, strong arm robbery at that. Man, you guys have a good day.